Yo guys, how's it going? This is the part 2 to my previous lesson, how to play every major and minor scale all over the neck. Well, fretboard, whatever you want to call it. If you haven't seen part 1, you need to, because you physically will not understand a thing if you haven't seen it. So, last lesson I showed you the 5 scale patterns, the 5 major scale patterns basically. And that is basically what I showed you. You see all those sort of fretboards with the notes, the little dots? They're all the patterns I just showed you. And then that one here, that is all of them put together. So that, like I said, it shows you everywhere that you can play in that scale. And then if you change the root note, all you're doing is just moving the patterns. They always go up in the same order, or down if you go down the fretboard. So it's like you start here, you get to there, and then it goes up, basically. And I forgot to mention as well, the last, in A major, the last pattern I got to was up here, and basically from there the patterns just carry on, so you start again. So the first pattern I showed you, okay, and then the last one that I showed you up here went like this. And then what you do is literally just carry it on. So that pattern that was down here, you carry it on up here. And then the next pattern, and then the next whatever, until you run out of frets. Okay, so what you're here to see is how do I then take those 5 major scale patterns and then find out basically how to play all the minor scales all the way up the neck in every minor key, right? So again, like before, I used A major as an example. Now it's going to be A minor, right? In A major, the root position, like scale position, went like this. Okay. Now, in A minor, it goes like this. Now, that pattern is exactly identical to the pattern that was down here in A major. It's the exact same notes, right? So, down here in A major, and then in A minor, around the root note, it's that exact same pattern. Instead of that root position one. So what am I trying to say? Right, what I'm saying is, in a major scale, around the root note, you play the major scale pattern that I showed you. And then when you're in the minor scale, you play the pattern that is before the root note pattern in the major scale, but as the root note pattern in the minor scale. So it's sort of like every single position is just shifted back one, essentially. So if you have this pattern here, that was the first position in A major, and then you move up, goes to the root note pattern. But in A minor, the root note pattern is that first one that we played. So and then if you go up from there, it just carries on with the same patterns. Or if you go down, it goes down and carries on with the same patterns. So it's literally the exact same thing, the exact same patterns, but you start, if you, say you're in A minor instead of A major, when you're around the root note, you play a pattern down. So it's like you've went back one pattern, and then they carry on going up the same way. Like, so in A major, your first pattern is your second pattern in A minor. That's literally it. Like it's the exact same box patterns that I showed you, except they're all moved down. That's it. So and then like I said before, with the major scales, they all use the same patterns, but they're just in different places because you started in a different place because you're in a different key, like you have a different root note. So that's literally all there is to it. So if you know the major scale patterns that I showed you in the last lesson, you can then find basically play every key all over the neck that's in a major key, basically. And then if you want to play a minor key, it's the exact same as the major key, but you're starting one pattern down, and then all the patterns carry on going up the same way, they carry on going back down, but you've just shifted everything down one pattern. That's literally all there is to it. If I have been a little unclear, I'm sorry. If you have any questions, honestly, I'm honoured to help. So if you have any trouble with that, literally just post me a comment and I'll get back to you straight away. So cheers for watching, guys. If you like my video, subscribe. Good luck with this and take care.